I got my first please send nudes, which was interesting.
Oh, do tell. Yeah, what?
Just got a text message. That's what it said with a little emoji. That was first for me. I was like, I mean, we are the good time girls. So some people think that's a literal thing.
Welcome back to the studio, our little humble studio in the Cornwall Park neighborhood. And this is Building Bellingham Season 7, Episode 5. And another special guest, Kolby LaBree. And you are co-owner of Good Time Girls.
Yeah.
Many that are listening to this are in Bellingham and may have heard of you or may have been on a tour. But for those that don't know what you do, tell me a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, we mostly do guided walking tours of Bellingham history. So we do a lot of tours in downtown Bellingham and over in Fairhaven. Those are kind of two of our main spots, but also the cemetery and pretty much anywhere that I feel like doing a tour.
Yeah,
have
it's
some
awesome.
stories about. So we just like to get people out. We're usually dressed in various historically inspired costumes, I'll say that. Yep. And just try to make it fun and highlight some of the fun history. We also, do a lot of other events. We've been doing some things we've been calling history happy hours, where we're kind of do a presentation and play games and have trivia, but also teach you about history at the same time. So we're always trying to have fun.
Yep.
A good time.
And you had mentioned a good time. And you also mentioned that there's a lot that as we're growing up that we have history classes.
Right.
But there's so much that we don't know about our local history or know there's some of the dark history in history, but there's also a lot that is not learned.
Yeah. And I mean, they just can't fit it all in curriculum, right? So there's a lot of history and so we learn some of the big picture stuff, and you might get a few little trips to the Pioneer Park or somewhere, but there's not like a whole lot of focus on things. So I was born and raised here. So everything that I talk about on my tours, never knew it before I started doing this.
It's amazing that you could be here all your life and not know these things.
So I encourage locals. You think your local history, think again.
Yep. And your background also, not just having been like grown up here, but you also have some history with anthropology and like you've it seems like you've gravitated towards this world earlier.
Totally.
Before you got into this.
Got a useless degree. I'll say that. No, that's why I'm doing tours in anthropology from Western. Mm-hmm. And so I've always kind of been interested in, broader culture and history and people and why are we here and doing what we're doing and how did that happen? And definitely there. And while an anthropology student at Western is when I interned through a museology class at the Whatcom Museum in the photo archives with Jeff Jewell.
Cool.
Who's kind of a mentor personal of mine. So that's where I really started to get into history, local history. And then just sort of started getting hired. I've worked a lot in historic preservation circles and so started doing a lot of like historic neighborhood surveys and just diving into research on that level on local history. So I just sort of fell into a lot of stuff that way. But it was funny because when I was a student intern at the Whatcom Museum, it's in the big castle building on Prospect Street, the big red castle. I always like to tell people generally.
If you haven't seen it, you haven't been downtown.
Yeah. They have multiple buildings in their campus. So the next door is the old fire station building. That's where the photo archives are housed. And that's when I was a kid, my dad worked there. And I used to go visit him. He's a firefighter. So I'd go to the fire station to bring him his dinner or whatever we were doing to visit him and play and run around. And so it was just like really funny to be kind of like brought it to a very personal
full circle, right back to the same spot.
Like, whoa.
So what was the thing that really like after college hooked you into history? Because there's usually something that you're like, oh, this is interesting, and next thing you know, you're like way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've always been kind of hooked into history a little bit, but Well, I got into genealogy, I'll say, before that.
Yeah.
And that was just sort of by accident through, I think one of my kids had a school project or something, and then I was like, oh, hey, this is kind of interesting. I was like, why is our family here? Where did they come from?
How did we get here? Yeah.
Yeah, just things you never thought about. And then started just looking at it on a personal level. And then that really started to dovetail with the local history stuff that mostly just through being a student up there at the museum and like looking through all these old photographs and the archives records, and then working on the resource survey projects where I'm looking at people's houses and who lived here, and it just really made me fall in love with Bellingham kind of from a new perspective.
Yeah. Well, and for you, like history, you kind of mentioned before we got on the mic here, that history is, there's positive things that have happened. There are positive things that didn't happen the way that they said that they happened. And then there's the dark history of the world,
right, and
of Bellingham.
Yeah.
Is it just kind of a fascination for like, what's the truth and what's from your perspective, or what were we doing then?
Yeah, I use the word truth pretty cautiously,
Yeah.
because I think we're always looking at
Subjective,
through our own lenses and cultural whatever and psychology and things like that. So I always hesitate to say anything was 100% true, even
like, someone wrote it down here. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
someone kind of wrote it down in cursive.
Can write down lots of things. And
totally.
That's what's interesting to me is like, a lot of people, this document. And I'm like, a person wrote that document.
Someone's perspective.
People make mistakes and see things from different viewpoints. And so, it's like, well, this newspaper says this. We'll look at, this newspaper says something very different,
about the same thing.
Yeah, about the same incident. So I always take everything with a little bit of a grain of salt.
That's a really fair way of looking at it.
But I enjoy the process of learning new things and getting new perspectives on things, because that's the fun part to me. It's like, you think you know this story, and then it's like some little new thing comes to light that, somebody scanned a new document somewhere, and it's like, oh, wow, like this totally makes me think differently now about this, or, so that's the fun part for me.
Why does it happen that way, where there's like usually some document that's recorded and everyone says, this is what happened back then, and all of a sudden over time, more information surfaces? Like, is it just that people that knew the other side of it didn't say anything?
Well, we have a short attention span, I think, culturally.
That's fair.
And like now, I mean, the internet and digitization of historical documents, it's insane. Like how much easier it is to research. I mean, to go through a newspaper archive and be able to keyword search. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Like that is so crazy. Like you used to have to just like, if you vaguely know a date for something and you're scrolling through a microfilm or actually flipping through old crumbling paper newspapers, and you have no way of quickly searching through vast amounts of that data. It's like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
So and I still do that.
Do you enjoy that process?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, but I love being able to digitally keyword search for stuff. So I think it's just like right now it's so exciting to be able to just like quickly scan through lots of things and get all this information that wasn't so easy to get before. But like you'll see things just repeated over and over again, even in some of our history books. Like I'm, for instance, with the Historical Society right now, we're doing tours of the Roeder home. Mm-hmm. And that house, you'll see it on every website for that house that they say the build date is from 1903 to 1908, which is not right.
When was it built?
1910. Started in 1909 with real construction. Plans probably in 1908, but certainly not 1903. But there was some little tidbits in the newspaper in 1903 about Victor Roeder buying property and starting to build a house.
So you could have bought it in 1903.
It didn't say where the property was. But then I have since then found other newspaper reports that say he sold his other property to take the one on Broadway Park, over here. Which
so there's like 3 points that could have led to this, like, this is what happened.
Yeah, you just assume he's talking about the Roeder home over here. It wasn't at all.
But he owned another house, and that is also his house.
Yeah, and now we can like cross-check all these different references and be like, okay, here's this, here's this, here's this. There's all these newspaper articles. There's a deed. There's this, so it's easier to be like, oh yeah, this is. I still won't say this is 100% the truth.
But this is what
this is got the most evidence.
Got the most evidence that says this is what we can believe as of now.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fair enough. So let's just talk a little bit about tour, like running tours in Bellingham, and how you do it and what the business is.
Okay.
So for somebody that is moving to Bellingham or someone that's passing through and looking for something to do to get to know where they're staying a little bit better, tell me a little bit more about what that, like, what's the process and what are some of the tours that you offer?
People always pick the Sin and Gin and Gores and Lores because those are the most fun. So Sin and Gin, that's kind of the first tour that was created by the former founders, Sarah Holodnik and Marissa McGrath. And that was really around the history of brothels and saloons and vice, essentially, which is where all the money came from in early Bellingham. Essentially, that's how our town is built, in every town in the West. But so that's a pretty fun topical tour. And then the Gore and Lores used to only be Gore and Lore in October only, because that's our spooky kind of ghosty and crimey tours.
Gets
but
dark
now we
and
do
rainy.
them year round because they're so, everyone loves those. Those are by far the most popular. So people tend to gravitate to those because they're the most fun. But we do also offer some like 101 history tours as well. So if you're looking to like really dive in and get the whole story, I would probably recommend our Whatcom Creek tour.
Okay.
Just kind of the fundamental, like, here's where the town got started.
Like why it's
and
here.
like
why it
some
was,
of that real early history and visiting some of those, like, you know, for here, I mean, we're such a young part of the country in terms of non-Indigenous history, you know, compared to like back east. But so, you know, but that is for Bellingham, the oldest sort of stuff in town. So that's a good one. And then also we do just sort of a general downtown one. Because I worked with the city a couple of times. The city would get a grant and pay us to offer free tours to the public. So there's some tours that were created for more of a general purpose and kind of give you a broad overview of Bellingham. And we have one for Fairhaven, which was our South Side bougie shopping district today, but it was its own little town originally, so it really has a...
Yeah, they weren't connected originally.
No, and they have a really strong identity still. Like, there was 4 towns around Bellingham Bay originally, and then... But you never hear anyone be like, I'm from Seahome.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
They might go to Seahome High School.
Yeah, right, but they're not from that town.
But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So those general history ones are good. The cemeteries... kind of a local one that local people enjoy, especially people who like to go walk in the cemetery. But
I live right by the cemetery.
it will give you a very broad view of Bellingham history also, because we kind of tie it in with a lot of stuff.
Very cool. So it seems like that it started with these few different tours, like the main ones, the Gore and Lore and the Gin and Sin.
Yes.
And then it just started building, and more people wanted to continue coming back and like repeat.
Right. Yes.
Tell me a little bit more. How do you, because there's only so much history, or at least there's only so much we know about history today, and more might be uncovered, right?
Yeah.
How do you find that balance between providing a really great experience, a really educational experience, but also allowing for there to be more opportunities for other themed tours, and like how do you find that balance?
I mean, I feel like an hour tour where you're 10 minutes max per stop, that's just a tiny little tease in terms of history for me. So I think there's always room for one. That's kind of why I started doing podcasts, was because I was like, I never get to tell like the whole meaty story on a tour, because you're really kind of limited to this like time frame. People have short attention spans and you have to keep moving, and so it's more like get you excited here and to take you to a spot and to be like, this happened here, or it's related to this spot in some way. And then maybe you'll want to dive deeper, and here's some resources. Like, we always email people after the tours with like, here's places you can get further information about this, or so I think the tours are like a fun thing to go do. You're going to get, the overview.
A good nugget.
A solid nugget, some great stories. But you can definitely always go deeper. And so that's like, for instance, the cemetery, I could probably do 10 or more tours.
Separate
that
tours.
Cemetery. Yeah.
Wow.
And I feel the same way about a lot. The Columbia neighborhood was another one that I struggle with, because that's where I live, and I do a tour because I walk around there all the time. So I was like, oh, and then like, I mean, it's a big neighborhood. All the neighborhoods are pretty big, so Downtown is big. You know, you just like, there's so much to potentially cover. You can't fit it into an hour walking around.
It's funny because Bellingham doesn't feel that big.
No.
Like geographically, it
Yeah.
doesn't feel that like to drive from, I'm just off of U Street right by the cemetery, but to get downtown is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or
And
7
walking around
minutes.
on foot is a lot different. Like
Totally.
I have done some like bus tours and things like that, which give you a little more freedom to spread out around town and hit
sure.
more sites, which is fun. That's a whole different thing. But usually we're pretty geographically limited into like where could people walk and will they be willing
Yeah.
and comfortable to
What's
walk?
the limit? And
Yeah.
and buy something that has food.
Yeah.
Or
Yes, drinks. A lot of people.
oh,
like
sorry,
that.
drinks. Yeah, that's the truth. Is do you do drink stops or just end at the?
We have in the past. That kind of changed during pandemic, mostly because we kind of had to stop then. And then it was just logistically, it's a little easier now. We mostly partner with different places for different tours, and it'll be like at the end of the tour, we're stopped here in the lobby of the Hotel Leopold. Here's Amendment 21 bar or
Yeah.
whatever, and they'll give you a
Have at
discount
it.
on
Yeah.
a drink
You
for
know.
coming on the tour. That kind of
Oh,
thing.
that's awesome. Yeah.
So we like to partner with local businesses and promote them. You know, that's one of our big goals is also to, be kind of a gateway
Mm-hmm.
to other fun times in Bellingham.
I'm going to talk about a fun topic and something that I think has still blown my mind that this exists. But the fact, this whole idea that there's so many people on social media that are doing this like pseudo tour guide, come take a look at this, but it's such thin content. It's like
Yeah.
a video of someone eating a burger and saying 10 out of 10, whatever they say.
Yeah.
What's amazing to me and what I love about your business is the fact that we've gone away for so long from in-person anything.
Yeah.
Everything's digitized, everything like
Yeah.
we were alluding to earlier. But what's amazing about your business is that people year in, year out still keep coming because of the experience,
Yes.
the personality,
Yes.
like the people that put it together, the quality of the content of information that they're getting.
Yep.
Have you seen that impact? Like, you have the foodie influencer or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or the historian and you see it and you go, oh, you just hung your hat on something and said truth and it's not
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, I cringe a lot.
Okay, so there's a lot of cringing going on.
Yeah, I'm judging.
Yeah, but how have you both continued to keep this business going, which is really important while this is happening?
Well, I think that there's a backlash against that. Like,
agree.
I honestly was just like, oh my God, this December, like Christmas time, I had so many people wanting private tours in the like crap weather. It's like, freezing rain,
Right.
blowing sideways, flooding. I'm like, why do you want to do a tour? Like,
Yeah.
you looked outside.
Yeah.
Like,
You sure?
I was like, we're doing this holiday event indoors. Like, I kept trying to like steer people to other things, and they're like, no, we want to do a tour. So I was like, okay, I did like so many tours over the holidays. And, it's not super pleasant
Yeah, it's
when it's raining sideways.
pretty dark.
And I'm
It's
trying
like
to wear
pitch
like
black.
dress for the weather. We're probably going to have to like duck inside somewhere at some point. But I think people are just looking for things to get off a screen and get outside.
Yep.
So we're trying to help them
Yeah.
with that any way we can. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
The weather can be challenging here, but we'll go out and
Yeah,
anything if
it
they
sounds
want
like
to.
I think the tour Taylor and Max went on. It was raining and
Yeah.
who'd you on the tour with? Do you remember?
It was October.
Okay.
And it was
Yeah.
probably gnarly weather.
Yeah, the October tours can be rough for that reason. I mean, any time of the year, you never know here
Yeah.
in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
But
but like I think the thing you can hang your hat on is that it's probably 90% of the time going to be raining or gray.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll take gray. I'll take gray.
Gray's
Just
fine.
rain, fine, wind, fine together. That's when I'm like,
all three together.
yeah.
Yeah. So how do you find your audience? How do you find your people? Like the returning. Okay, so there's two categories to this.
Yeah.
There's the people that are like, anytime I see a new tour coming out, I'm coming. That's like your A+
Yeah.
person that just loves it.
Yeah.
Then you've got the people who are like, maybe they come for Sin and Gin, or they have like specific things they go to. And then you have I'm going to call them randos. You have
Yeah.
the people that are like, I'm passing through and looking for something fun to do. How do you find these people that are, into one of these topics or all of these topics?
I mean, advertising.
But what are you doing for advertising? Like, how do you?
I'll get a lot from like the like downtown Bellingham and the city of Bellingham's calendar pages, like people who are just, I think, tourists coming into town and looking for events. So I try to hit all the event calendars and things like that, and then the social media algorithms.
Your favorite, right?
Yeah, not my favorite, but, got sort of a handle on that. It's always changing, but, yeah, and it is weird. It is weird because we get, I would say most of the people who come on the tours are tourists looking for activities to do. But Google,
Yeah.
lot of people from Google.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have people like, tell a story about like I'm sure most of the tours are great. It's good banter. It's like people enjoy it. And then you have the people that are like debating with you or do you have weird like historian
every
debates?
Once in a while you get one of those, like, usually
That's not what happened.
older white man, I'll say it, who's going to be, or just wants to be like, I know about this topic. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
Little lady or whatever. Something encounter quite a bit of.
Sounds like you enjoy that. Just kidding.
It's
joke. Yeah.
I will say it's a little bit satisfying. Like, it was funny because
you know what you're doing.
Yeah. And you'd all just be like, oh, really? And then blah, 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 and then they'll be like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is funny because I feel like I had to really like win over a lot of people in like the older historical society circles, where, but now they're like, oh my God, this lady knows what she's doing.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's, and honestly, it can depend on a number of different things, but I've felt that same way running a business as, when I was younger too. People are like, hey buddy, you remind me of my grandkid. And I'm like, yeah. Your grandkid must be really good at this job.
Yeah.
I don't know. Snarky.
Yeah, I think
joking.
it's something that's going to happen anywhere you go. But yeah, and it's funny too, because there's like people who are really niche into historical things. Like, I'm like, oh God, it's a train guy,
A train guy.
or whatever, there's like, I know everything about the railroads. And, I'll say, like, there's a lot of things like Jeff Jewell up at the photo archives has like a photographic memory somehow. Like, he'll just know everything, dates, names, or a lot of things I'm still like, oh God, I don't remember. I gotta look that up.
Was this one thing that happened? Yeah.
So I wish I had more of a like just instant recall on stuff like that. But yeah, there's always going to be people who know more than me about something too, and I welcome that, and I love it when I get people. You don't have to be an expert in anything. I just love it when people come on tours and are like, I had this experience, or I know this weird story from my grandma, or whatever, and share their.
Is it what's called an urban legend?
So I'm into history, but I'm also really into urban legends and lore. So we have our Gore and Lore tour. So it is interesting to me how a lot of local history becomes that, like, weird urban lore.
I mean, like the urban legend of why Hagen's called Darkhagen?
Darkhagen,
Just because they're lighting?
Darkhagen, Barkhagen.
Oh, that's a new one. I haven't heard that one.
Ones. Anyway, there's 4 and they all rhyme.
So, and if you don't know, it's fine. I'm just curious. Is it because the lighting's dark?
Yeah, I think it's like
the OG
the original Hagen,
and it's a little bit
little smaller, a little like
darker.
Lower ceilings. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's actually that much darker, but
no, I just started calling it that because I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
And we just happen to be right here.
I'm like, the dark Hagen.
The dark metal Hagen.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Like, I like it. Yeah.
So there's a crew of 4 of you?
Yes. Yeah. So it's mostly me.
Yeah.
So it's not really like a super lucrative gig.
But you enjoy it, and you're passionate about it.
Yes, it's a labor of love for sure. And so all the other guides have, everybody. I mean, even I have other jobs, and so we're all like also making money elsewhere. But it's just something that we love doing and want to keep going. So we keep doing it. But yeah, it's mostly me doing all the back of the house, everything, and then tours also.
And then the other 3 are doing tours
and mostly,
as well.
right now they're all doing tours. And like, I welcome them to do as much or as little as they want. It's kind of just like whatever level of involvement. But yeah, we've got a solid crew that's been sort of around for, since Ren and I took over from Marissa McGrath and Sarah Holodnik in 2018. And then like we did it by ourselves for like a year, and then we brought in a couple other people who have been with us since. And it's crazy because I didn't know any of these people before I started doing this, but it just like the right people came together, and it just worked out really well. And the one thing is like everybody's really passionate about it, and I think that's probably the most important thing. Is like anyone can learn sort of a scripted history tour.
Yes, on your left.
And recite some dates and things, but it's like, that's not very fun.
We're standing is right where Bob Johnson had a piano dropped on him in
Yeah.
1932.
Yeah.
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 So what's it like leading a small team? Because there are some leadership can be easier in some ways with a bigger
Right.
team, and it can be easier in some ways
Yeah.
with a smaller team. What's
Yeah.
that like?
I mean, there's been some bumps, along the way for sure, but like, it's a team, and like, I sort of by necessity have to be the person who's saying where the buck stops and making decisions about things, which I think also has its benefits. I think, you can really get bogged down when you're trying to do things with too many people.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak.
Yeah, and I've done things both ways, and there is some stuff I think I like about just being like, all right, I get to make the final decision here, and that can speed things along. But I really do think of them as equals in terms of the team, and like, so I mean, they're all really great people, and we've all just been. I feel fortunate that we all get along so well and all kind of have a good communication. So that really helps. I don't know how it would be with anyone else, honestly.
Yeah, you're like, would it be helpful to have more people helping? Would it be, but at the same time,
hard.
does that change the dynamic or dilute the culture?
Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
And I was so excited because we brought on, actually last year, I've wanted a good time guy for a long time. And we finally got one.
Yeah,
last
you officially
year.
have a good time guy?
We did, but sadly got headhunted away from us down to another job in Oregon, which is a beautiful and wonderful job for him. So Daniel, shout out to you.
Daniel, come back.
I'm so excited. No, this was a great opportunity. Daniel's young and deserved to make a lot more money than doing Good Time Girls tours. But But so we, we're always, looking. I mean, because we get. It's very part-time, but it can be overwhelming during the season. Like sometimes I feel like we're not enough, especially during October.
Is it pretty seasonal? Like you get a lot of your tours later in the year?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
October is slammed. That's when we make most of the money for the entire year.
Interesting.
Yeah. So everybody loves Halloween and those gore and lore tours, and we do as many as we possibly can during that month. But we also do them all year round, and those are very popular at all times. But yeah, mostly summer. It's very tourist season dominated because we're outside too. But
So what are those groups? So you have set tours that you're doing that people can sign up for, and you also do private tours?
yeah, so we'll do private tours all year round anytime. And we do a lot of, like team building and or people who have family coming from out of town and just looking for something to do.
Get the in-laws out of the house, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I've got something planned for you.
Exactly.
And they're all back-to-back
Yeah.
tours, yeah.
And then we do things like field trips. I've done tons of field trips. Like our Whatcom Creek tour was designed as a field trip for 7th graders.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so I just, changed it a little bit for the public. But so we do just anything. I feel we're kind of, what's the term? It's like non-official or whatever, educators,
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. So I do a lot of different events, talks, things like that. Keep busy year round. But our main, public tours where you can sign up that happen every week are going to be basically like May through October.
Okay.
And it kind of just depends. Like if the weather's stellar in April, I might be like, let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Putting them on the calendar.
What is the back of you kind of alluded to a little bit ago about the back of the house. You're like, I'm doing this and I'm doing there's the in the business thing, which is doing the tours, getting in the costume and doing the tours. What does the back end look like?
Well, I mean, there's all the boring stuff, just like answering emails and dealing with the booking platform and the software and getting everything on the calendars and, going through all the paperwork to do the cemetery tours, which I haven't done yet. And I was like, oh no. That's a whole
Oh, you have
process.
there's a whole like
Oh my
application
God,
process?
yeah.
What-
Basically, it's like
what is it?
reserving a park as if you were a business. If you wanted to reserve like a shelter in a park, there's
Mm-hmm.
a whole process and money involved in that. So the cemetery is technically under Parks and Rec, so it's under the Bellingham.
Interesting. I didn't know
Parks.
that.
Yeah, and they didn't really know what to do with it, honestly. So they were like, well, we'll just treat it like this. And so it's kind of a ridiculous process for what I'm doing.
It's a
But-
it's a little sluggish.
yeah,
for it.
and it's like they want it
Bureaucratic.
like a year in advance, but usually it's more like 6 months I get it in. But and I have to pay and I have to reserve a certain amount of time per tour. So there's just like things like that, just like getting in touch with all the partners. If we're going to partner with businesses, what's the deal going to be? Is it still the same? Are we going to do things different? There's just all those little things, and where am I going to advertise this year?
Yeah. What are some of the places that you do? Like, what are just you said
Bellingham
um,
Alive,
Bellingham Alive,
like
nice.
Cascadia Weekly. Like I'll try to pick like a print source usually
Yeah.
or two, and then the rest is mostly online.
Yeah.
And whether I decide to like boost anything or not,
Like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah. So I don't usually. It's usually enough just to kind of organically let everything happen. But if there's something in particular, yeah. So those are kind of the main things. And then I've been actually more. I'm like I'm gonna focus more this year on flyering and postering.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of an old school thing, and I got kind of sick of doing that at first. I was like, nobody looks at these, and then I'm like, I think people look at these again.
I think we're back.
Yeah. I think it's back.
There was I think it was probably a 8 to 10 year period where people were just not looking because
Yeah.
there was so much spam.
Yeah.
And then everybody's now so inundated with spam on social
Yeah,
media
yeah.
And on the internet and
Right.
email marketing
Yeah.
that I think we're also like we've switched a lot over to like postcards
Yeah,
and like handwritten letters to
exactly.
people and just
Yeah, I'm feeling the same.
yeah
I was like, I think I gotta get back into printing stuff again here.
yeah and also you get the opportunity to bump into the person too and like
Yeah.
attach a person behind
Yes.
whatever this
Yeah.
is.
And that is a challenge for us because we don't have a brick and mortar location. So we're kind of nebulous in
Yeah.
that way. Like there's not like a specific place you can come and find us other than online. And we have a phone number listed, which is just like a Google number. And it was actually really funny because so I never answer the phone, right? It just goes to our
You can-
voicemail
you can
and I go,
screen it and call
yeah.
them back. Yeah.
But yeah, I got my first please send nudes, which was interesting.
Oh, do tell. Yeah, what?
Got a text message. That's what it said with a little emoji. That was first for me. I was like, I mean, we are the good time girls. So some people think that's a literal thing. So we're listed in the phone
Yeah,
book.
please, you got to elaborate on this. This is
So
hilarious. Yeah.
phone books, right? They're still a thing. Weirdly, like you get them, but they're very thin. They're not as big of a deal as they used to be. But it came in the mail to my house or something, and I'm like, I was like, I wonder if we're in here because like I've never submitted us to be in any phone book. So I was like, how does this work? And I looked in there, and it's like something about funerals, funerals, and then it's like good to go. And then it's good time girls, and there's no explanation, right? Just good time girls and a phone number.
That's amazing.
So I was like, hilarious.
You're
Like,
we might get some traction from this, and we might get a lot of weird stuff from
don't
this.
think anyone's going through that phone book, but maybe. I don't know.
Clearly, somebody did, and
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, our phone number's listed on our website and
yeah.
everywhere else too,
Yeah.
on our brochures and everything. But yeah, most people don't call and even fewer text. And so that was just funny to me. I was like, oh my God.
you're like, what are we advertising? Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's that.
Yeah. I haven't gotten that from anybody yet through real estate.
We put our brochure, like we have brochures that I've printed for years, and those go out to all the like visitor centers
Mm-hmm.
and various places like that.
So one of the things that, because you have alluded to it, like a little bit of a breadcrumb trail here of like the things that you spend money on to, or spend time and effort to get the awareness out there for people to come then book the tours. It seems like without a brick and mortar and without like a lot, your overhead must be relatively low, and it must be relatively sustainable.
That's the only way to keep it going.
Without, yeah, fair enough.
Came down to that. I was like, well, okay,
Because-
just do it from home.
I mean, a lot of, and it's a totally viable way to
That's
do
expensive.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if we could like rent a closet of a space downtown, I mean, we've thought about that a lot, or talk to some businesses about like just like give us a little corner
Yeah.
to like store a sign in or something, but it's just not worth it
Yeah.
for
But
what we do.
that's also created sustainability, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to many business owners who are like grappling with like one crazy overhead expense, or they have like,
Yeah.
and I'm always fascinated because I'm more in the category of like, we have overhead and we have,
Yep.
income and overhead, and like you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out how do we make this sustainable and also not work every day,
Yeah.
all day,
Yeah.
but also still make money enough to like sustain this.
Yes.
And I'm very fascinated with businesses that have, like yours, that have figured out a way to
Yeah.
be scrappy
Yeah.
and just go, we just don't have all this overhead.
Yeah. I know. When I originally like took the numbers that I was given when I took over the business, and I went to like, what's the little group that does like free business counseling advice or
Is it
whatever?
the Small Business Center?
Yeah, I forget. And I was like, I'll just make an appointment and go see what they think about this, and they were kind of looked at me like I was nuts, and I was like, what am I doing? Is this, is this anything? But honestly, I just didn't have anything else going at the time. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. And if something else comes along, something else comes along. But you know what? Nothing else has come along.
Yeah.
I keep trying. But yeah, so it's just been kind of a combination of like, I haven't had anything better, and I love this, and I love doing it. So lucky for Bellingham.
Lucky for Bellingham, and lucky for the people that come to the tours. And,
Yeah.
and it sounds like you have your time of the year it seems like you've created some sort of cadence to it, or not. It has created itself.
Yeah.
And so you know what to prepare for. So you know when
Yes.
you're going to be slower and when you're going to be busier.
Yeah.
How do you plan ahead for that? Like how do you...
Every year, I wish I planned better.
That's fair, yeah.
Every year, I'm like, next year, I'm going to do this. But I got little baby steps. But yeah, no, and it is interesting because we go so hard, or at least I do, during the season, that it is nice, to have a little bit of like, I mean, really, it's only like November. I can like take a slight breather, and
Yeah.
then it's like, all right, we're doing a holiday thing, and like, I've got to get the cemetery documents in.
Yep.
And then, I don't know, and we've, like last year we did 2 big sold out gigs at the Mount Baker Theater Walton Room, not the big theater.
That's
but
still awesome.
Still, it
Yeah.
was like a dream come true to do something like that. And it was so fun. And, so then we were like, well, I really focused on trying to do more stuff like that during the off season. And we did like 2 sold out Ranch Room, Horseshoe Cafe
Nice.
history nights over the summer, which isn't a huge space, but we ended up doing 2 because it sold out. And, so just fun things like that. I would love to partner with more places. I'm looking real hard at the Oddfellows Temple Room right now.
Where is that?
In the old Oddfellows YMCA building,
Oh,
across from the
yeah.
current YMCA
Yep.
building. So Orion is the main bar in the front, and then they built what they call the Oddfellows
I've
Temple
been back
Room.
there
So cool.
randomly because Orion, they have a music space back there.
Yes,
right?
that's
Or like
it is the music space.
I
That's the
kind of
space.
randomly
Yeah.
stumbled into
Yep.
to a show. It was great. Yeah, it was awesome.
And it's
Yeah.
just really cool what they did with the space. It's got like a historic vibe going on.
That's not a
back there,
church,
right?
is it?
No, but it was a gymnasium, I think, for the YMCA when the building was originally
That makes
for the
more sense.
YMCA.
Yeah.
But it also was the Oddfellows Temple, so weird fraternal organization. So there's history
Yes.
of that they leaned into with the decor and the vibes in there. So, which we love. So we're like, we need to do something here because this would be great. And we always joke about how we're going to start our own secret society, and we even came up with our own Latin motto.
Can you share?
Yes, it
Okay.
is Semper Tempus Bonum,
Okay.
which is Latin for always a good time.
I love it.
Is that not perfect?
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's funny. So
So how does one find this secret society? Is it like you have to go on a tour?
Yeah.
You have to go on every single
yes,
tour.
you have to learn the secrets.
And you have to
handshake.
just watch
Yeah.
watch what Kolby's doing.
Yeah.
She's going to throw out little signals and
Secret
little
signals.
secrets, and then you piece it together. It's like a newspaper
Yeah.
ransom ad,
100%.
a ransom note.
Yes.
And then once you've gotten that, then you have to reach out.
Yeah.
And then what happens next?
And then we jump you in.
Then you get jumped in.
Just kidding.
You have to drink water from the bay or something.
Yeah, something like that. We
Yeah.
haven't decided. Some hazing.
Yeah, a little bit of hazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
You got to stick to the history of this.
Absolutely. And have a good
We're
time
going to do
doing
a
it.
little
Yeah.
black marble vote whether you can get in or not.
Yeah. And it's just, you're going to get in, but it's
Yeah.
like, we're going to vote. Well, contrary to what we thought was going to happen, everybody voted that you can get in. Welcome. Yeah.
Yes. We'll stick to some history.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite buildings around town? Like what are the ones that when you walk by you go, that's cool. Like
Well, there is some obvious ones like over in Fairhaven. Like I love the Knights of Pythias. Speaking of weird fraternal organizations, that building is so cool. And part of the reason why I think it's cool is because it's abandoned and neglected the upstairs.
Yep.
And so it's relatively intact.
and
So-
Drizzle's on the bottom. Is that the
Yeah.
that's the
yeah.
building.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like one of those weird. I don't know if it's just my generation or what, but I did a lot of like kind of urban exploration, if you will, in my youth. So I love an abandoned space. So
Yeah.
I really love when
Urban.
buildings are kind of like not fixed up yet. So
Yeah.
like we got to go upstairs in the horseshoe.
I've never been up there.
It's crazy. So
What's up there?
sketchiness is what's up there, and there's a reason no one goes up there because it needs help in a bad way. But yeah, to get up there, there's a staircase. If you go in the men's bathroom at the horseshoe on the left hand side, it's padlocked, so you can't get up there. But if they let you in with their key, you could go up this staircase that's like it's like a ladder. It's like straight
and it's the
up
whole
and
upper
down.
part of the building.
It's just above the ranch room. So that's actually two buildings. The horseshoe is two old buildings. One, the cafe side is a one-story building, and the ranch room side is a two-story building. And so they've just been united in the mid-century with a nice plain facade that
Yeah.
hides the older buildings underneath.
So there's just a
Cut
right
some
down.
holes in the walls, and there you go. But so above that, it was the Oxford Saloon originally, that
Oh.
side of the building. So there was like rooms to rent up there, and then kind of a hall, like a public hall where different groups would meet. But yeah, there's holes in the floors. There's dangling wires, probably asbestos everywhere. But
So, but you still, at this time when that was in use, you still had to go up a strange little staircase ladder to get there?
I mean, I don't know. I think there's another way to get up there, but there's like one whole room in the front is just filled with old water heater tanks and boilers and stuff. So you can't get through.
Bizarre. I'm just thinking about a steep staircase, saloon, probably a lot of whiskey, and then going back down a steep staircase.
Yeah, I think there's another staircase that goes up there. I'm pretty sure because I went up that one time and it was like boilers, can't go any further. So you have to go up the back to actually see anything. So there's two, probably for fire safety.
Interesting. One of the buildings that I've had a lot of experience with, but also very fascinated with is the Waterfront Tavern.
I was going to say the waterfront, but
Yeah.
I was like, nobody will understand if I say that first because everyone will be like, what?
Oh, no, I mean, for people that are new to Bellingham, when you say waterfront, you think
Well, it's not like a beautiful example of architecture, say, but
it's unique.
I think so too. It's our last building on pilings
Yes.
on Whatcom Creek. So if it goes up in flames, you could never build anything there again.
Yep. But there's a lot of history. It's been moved from what please correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understand, it's been moved.
Well, I mean, as a business, the Waterfront Tavern started out in a different place. That building, I don't think, has been moved since it was built there. But it wasn't built as a tavern. But there's a cool trapdoor.
I've been down it.
Have you?
Yeah, I actually have it for sale.
Oh, you're selling it.
That's me.
Okay, so I know some people who are potentially buying it.
We know similar people.
Yes, we do.
But it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But that building has always, I mean, I've always gone in there to like have a beer and play pull tabs
Yes.
and like have my feet stick on the floor
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have a good time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until, the last 3 or 4 years that I was able to go down below and just,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm jealous because I have not been down there.
well, maybe it can be arranged.
Yep. That'd be cool.
We can make that happen.
But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot left because, I mean, and I'm not against things getting fixed up and, gentrified.
Right.
Because I think change is the only constant and, nice things are nice too. But
There's a lot of new that's not great quality, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of old that is great quality, and it's always hard to find that target of how do you
Yeah.
update something so that it's not going to fall into the ground, but
Right.
also keep the proper
Yes.
amount of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is a tricky balance, and one that I don't envy people trying to make it work and pencil out right now either.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's funny because I've done so much historic preservation stuff, but it seems like that's on the back burner of a lot of people's priorities right now.
Isn't that something that Bob Hall focuses on?
Yeah.
That's I met him in the beer garden and at Downtown Sounds, and he was just talking about his passion for old buildings.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he wrote a book too. And
and it kind of takes people like that have the connections and the drive and I mean that's like Ken Imus over in Fairhaven.
Right.
I mean, love him or hate him, he was kind of the one who sparked that whole thing. So
a lot of interesting history. What about I know we're just going down a story train of buildings, which is, we can do that if we want to.
Sure.
So, always been very curious about the building that Black Cat is in Mambo Italiano with the courtyard in the middle. And there's nothing like that in Bellingham.
No. And it is interesting to me because that's one that I would love to see the original plans for, but I don't know if they exist. But yeah, I'm curious. I would love to talk to the Imus descendants and see
because they built that, right?
That was the first one they restored, that they purchased.
Understood.
That Ken Imus purchased and started restoration on. And I think it's pretty faithful to the original layout of that interior, but definitely a lot was, had to be redone. So it's really, I just am curious as to there's not any old pictures of the interior of that building. There's a few of the gentleman's club upstairs, but it just shows that part.
Was that where the Black Cat was?
No, it was where the salon is on the 4th floor, which a lot of people get that confused. So you might see that it was where the Black Cat was, but it wasn't. It was the 4th floor.
Because that place, love going to, there's a number of different businesses that we go to when we go into Fairhaven.
Yes.
It reminds me of probably 6 or 7 years ago, I went to the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park. Mm-hmm. And when I go up higher, obviously in the places that there aren't businesses or there's offices, it gives me the same, I don't know how to explain it, the hair on the back of my neck. And I'm not
I think it's because they're crooked old buildings. It's
fair
vertigo.
enough. Okay. See, I was trying to make a connection on an urban legend there, and just.
But I mean, that is the haunted hotspot of Fairhaven. But I mean, that was my first job when I was 15 years old. My first real job was dishwasher at what was then La Creperie in the Black Cat spot, and then they opened the bar and called it Le Chat Noir, or the Black Cat in French, and then now it's just all the Black Cat. But
they just got all away from French.
Yeah. They're Americans can't do that.
They can't. That's too much.
So, but I feel like my formative years, I spent a lot of time in
that
building. And it didn't have an elevator then, so when we take the garbage out, and there was no recycling, so it was food waste and wine bottles and everything in one big can
down
down
flights.
all those stairs and
fun.
Backwards in the snow, barefoot.
But, yeah, right.
But it was
uphill both ways.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the state-run liquor store, we would have to I was 15 and I was bringing cases of booze back.
Where was the state-run liquor store?
Yeah, it was that weird strip mall that's kind of sandwiched behind the Fairhaven Towers and the newer building that just got built. Is it called the Opera Building? Maybe Opera House?
It's where Mount Bakery is. That little strip mall there, the single level strip mall.
There used to be Trek Video or something was in there. I'm trying to think.
Back in the day when we could.
Back. I think there's a Wiku. There's a Wiku in there.
There's a Wiku there too. By the way, just for the record, I would say the vast majority of our listeners know what a floppy disk is.
Okay, great.
So as you're making references, just know the audience is probably late 20s to beyond.
Yeah, I know. That's my first question when people come on tours is how long have you lived in Bellingham, or where
how long have you been alive?
That kind of thing. Because I've always if I make references to certain things, who is gonna know what the hell I'm
if you say Dark Hagen, they're not gonna know what you're talking about, right?
But if I get a group of a bunch of locals that have lived here for a long time, I'm I can make all these inside references that other people won't know.
Yeah. Well, on your tours, how do you? Because there's the content that you want to, give to people.
Yes.
But then there's also your personality and there's how you want to deliver it. And then ask some questions and you kind of read the room. How do you make that gauge on like, oh yeah, these people don't like jokes?
Yeah.
Or do you just
that's
say,
a
I don't
real
really
thing.
care if they like jokes or not. We're going to have a good time, or I'm going to have a good time.
I mean, that's,
Part of it.
Yep.
So if you can tell that it's kind of a stiff group, you're going to just go, you know what? At least I'm going to have fun.
It depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And but there is a lot of that. It is a lot about a dance, about who's feeling out the crowd and the audience, and just know your audience and what are they interested in and what's their mood, and so I definitely adjust. Every tour is different based on that, and just my mood.
Yeah,
also,
I'm gonna skip this one.
I'm like, I'm sick of this story. I'm gonna tell this one. So that's a big part of it. Yeah, and it's a good skill to have. I'm like, I think more than having any knowledge of local history coming into this, I want people who are good storytellers, which I don't think I necessarily was from the beginning. I think it was something that I learned a little bit on the fly. But I was terrified of public speaking. I don't know how I got into this job, honestly. I'm introverted.
Yeah,
but
you seem like you're doing fine.
Yeah, and I did performance art, but I did like dance, where you didn't have to talk to people.
Yeah.
So it was like really nerve-wracking at first, but I love it now. I do find it exhausting.
Yeah, you need like some pretty solid recharge
I'll
time.
be like, okay, I did 3 tours a day. I don't talk to anyone for 3 days.
And don't talk to me. Yeah.
Stay away from me. But no.
But as a business person, and also like you just mentioned, you're running a business, you're an entrepreneur. How you pushed yourself as an introvert into public speaking.
Yeah.
And maybe you were kind of thrust into it because it was, coupled with something that you really loved and were passionate about. But what would be your, advice that you could pass along to other people that are doing large scale business, starting a business, whatever it is, to kind of conquer those fears? Yeah, I mean, I think it feels good to like work through some of that stuff and to push myself, and to, it just makes you find kind of like new strengths, or like, you survived that, you can do this. Yeah.
Like it just gives you more confidence to push through things sometimes. So I just think that's general advice for anybody with anything in life.
Do it. It feels good on the other side.
And that's the stuff I'm saying to my kids all the time.
Just do it. Yeah. Do what I say.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah. You have to have all these like these mottos. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, and I just am like, I've lived through worse things.
Yeah.
You could do it. Just.
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What does the future look like? What do you like as far as your drive to continue and the crew that you have right now? It just sounds like you have a wonderful crew.
Yeah.
Looking for who's the good time guy out there that's going to join. One good time guy, but
I think guys are scared of us a little bit. So
why?
I don't know. I mean, we are the Good Time Girls, which is like a weird name. Like, I didn't choose the name. I probably wouldn't have chosen that name. But I mean,
you wouldn't have gotten a text that said "send nudes."
That's right.
Probably not.
Which. Yeah. I mean, I'm over 50 now. I do not identify as a girl. If I ever did, I mean, like, what does that even mean? But obviously the name is a euphemism, so it's an old-timey euphemism for sex workers.
Totally. Right.
So like, they never came out and said prostitutes or sex workers in old-timey times. They were like ladies of the evening.
Yeah.
So it was, and the name is a great name because that's what we were about, is having good times. And we do, on the original tours, which are the Sin Engine tours, it was, we're dressed in like corsets and bloomers and things like that. So I will say that no sex worker, even at any point in history, would have gone outside in their corsets and bloomers. So us walking around in downtown Bellingham, that's not historically accurate, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're fully clothed, compared to
what they were doing
on today's standards.
Yeah, totally. Oh, another good
like,
point.
The bloomers are long. There might be some cleavage, but that's, it's, but that, was like the look that you'd see on like French postcards of the time, which were kind of like your pocket porn.
Pocket porn? Yeah.
That's basically what it was.
Right.
But that was like the risque so that was the look that we're going for with that. But, I don't remember what my point was with this story.
No, you hit it right on the head, and just more thinking about like what the future looks like. And I know you have the podcast too.
There we are.
What does the future hold?
Yes.
But more just curious, like this is something that you've done for a while now.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while now. You're all having a good time doing it. There's no plan on stopping doing it. So
Right.
what do you see as like what you'd like to see the business, the company, the
Yeah, I mean,
happen with it?
I feel like at some point I'm going to have to incorporate some new people. I think that that's the nature of
Yeah.
how things work. So I would love to figure that out and get that happening at some point. It is a little bit of a challenge, but it is always a dance for me because like right now, like I'll put some of the guides out on the sort of standard tourist weekly tours that, maybe I get bored of doing that. I've done it for how many years?
Yeah,
And then I'll be back working on a new tour, or I'll be doing the newer tours that I've just created.
Right.
And so that's how I stay like interested and things like that. And then I'll go back and do those tours and be like, oh, I love this tour.
Oh, nostalgic. Yeah. I could do this with my eyes closed.
Yeah, exactly.
Or try something different this time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and the tours do evolve. Like we do tweak them every year. We'll sit down and be like, how are we feeling about this? All the tours? What is there anything we want to change? How's the route feeling? How's the stops and the partnerships feeling? And just kind of, so they do evolve for sure. That's a lot. Most of the stories stay the same, but they do change out too. Or we find a new story. We're like, we got to put
Let's
this
do
in.
it. Yeah, nice.
So, yeah, they always change. So we're keeping things fresh that way. I've been looking into, thinking about sort of offering more of just a like welcome to Bellingham. You just want someone to show you around and tell you like the real tea.
Yeah.
Because I think I might be good at that. So not just history, but just sort of like a more general, let's go drive around Bellingham. Like I've been trying to figure out ways to incorporate and partner with, like there's like the party bus people
Right.
and stuff like that. So just different things that we could do to kind of branch out. But I think walking tours are like, that is the kind of the biggest thing. So I get all these other ideas for doing other things, but that seems
Like the
to
events
be,
and
like I'm like, I keep trying to get people to go to these events because it's cold outside. They still want to go outside. So it always comes back to the tours, honestly.
It's your
the walking
staple,
tours.
yeah.
Yeah. So those will never go away.
Well, and you should definitely talk to Taylor running Live Bellingham now as far as like collaborative stuff that you
Totally.
can, as part like the Welcome to Bellingham and
Yep.
the historical stuff.
Yeah.
So that's, we are trying to be, it's not at the forefront of her job, but we're trying to be the influencer that creates the platform and is not like at the forefront creating this like thin kind of cringy content. It's more so like you do the thing and we
Right.
will video it and we'll
Yeah.
collaborate, that type
Yeah,
of thing.
totally.
So yeah, anything that we can do on
Yeah.
that side, we'd love to.
And
love
same,
to
because
collaborate.
like I said, like, I'm not one of the people who's like, don't move to Bellingham. I mean, it's gonna happen because
Yeah.
it's a nice place to be.
Yeah.
And and that's who also comes on my tours and helps me with my business. So
The people that don't want other people to move to Bellingham.
no, I mean
The people that are coming
yeah.
to Bellingham. Yeah.
So new people are coming on my tours all the time. But I don't want that to scare away the locals either, because I personally love it when locals come on my tours. And
Yep.
so I encourage more local people that have been around a long time to do that. But I also love getting to show off Bellingham and getting to like let people know like this is how it used to be. And,
it's like
even
a
within
little-
my lifetime, it's changed so much. So,
Yeah.
when I grew up here, people did not want to move here.
Why?
It was like a depressed mill town in the like 80s and 90s when GP was still like sort of operating and it just smelled bad. And
So the stink.
it was just
stank.
in that like kind of slump of industrial, all the industry was moving away.
Yeah.
Sorry. But like, it was funny because people now don't understand that. I'm like, when I talk about like the curse of Bellingham, people are
The
just like,
slump. Yeah.
what? Why would you be scared you would always come back here? I was like,
Yeah. Come on one of my tours. I'll tell you all about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at like all of our waterfront beaches are all industrial sites. They're all brownfields. And so imagine like when those were still like not parks even, like there just wasn't, it was kind of a gloomy industrial place for a lot of years with not the emphasis on the natural resources. Although they always talked up Mount Baker.
Yeah. Which is an hour away.
Yeah.
It's not here physically.
No. But it was like, on your way.
Yeah.
Stop in Bellingham.
Stop in Go to the waterfront. Yeah, or the Horseshoe.
Go to the Mount Baker Theater.
Go to the Mount Baker Theater.
Hence the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was all built like right at the same time, right? Because of the
Mm-hmm.
Mount Baker Lodge, which burned down like sadly like 2 years after it was built, was this
Short
beautiful
lifetime.
lodge. And that was like right during when everyone had their little Model T cars and whatnot. And it was like auto tourism was the big draw.
Let's go for a drive
Yeah.
down the road,
Yeah.
see?
And
Right?
so
That's how
yeah.
people talked, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And at some point, people were like, we're going to just talk like this now.
Yeah, yeah. We started going, yeah, like...
Yeah.
I don't even know. I can't do a California thing, but so yeah, that the Bellingham Towers right across from the Mount Baker Theater was a big hotel.
Yeah.
They were all that was part of it. And the Mount
Tallest
Baker-
building in Bellingham.
Yeah,
Yeah.
skyscraper.
They got away with one of them or two of them.
What I think is sad is like the big. You've seen the pictures with the big sign on the top of that building that said Bellingham in vertical letters.
Oh, is it still there right now?
No.
Oh, it
It
was-
was
no.
only there for a couple of years. I think it started going
Yeah.
in the wind, and they're like, yeah, maybe that's a hazard.
Yeah, that might fall on somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is too bad because it was so cool, and it stands out in pictures as like such a cool feature, that huge sign. But you can date you like, okay, this was from 30 to whatever, because
That's when
yeah,
they didn't
wasn't
want
there
it.
very
That would have been a good. I mean, it would have been unfortunate for the person that got squashed by the sign
Yeah.
when they were walking their dog, but it
Yeah.
would have been a story you could have
yeah.
told on your tour.
And there's people like who went all the way up to the top of it and did different stunts, But it was as tall as that building is, the sign. So it was like,
That's a wildly tall sign. Well, probably good that they removed that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We still got the Herald sign, so.
The big old Herald sign. You can see it everywhere. Yeah. So, as we kind of wrap up here, the podcast. What is the podcast called?
It's just called Bellinghistory with the Good Time Girls.
Okay. For those of you that like history and a little bit of the crime and kind of
Yes.
like these.
There's a whole season
Urban
that we
legends.
call Bad Town.
Okay, go listen to
on
that,
that.
and that's on like Spotify.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and
on
so-
all the podcast places.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I haven't done a new episode in a while. I apologize for that, everyone. But yeah, my plate has been full. But
Well.
I have lots more to do eventually when I get back to it.
Well, that's the cool part is you have equally as much additional content that you can
Yes.
tell
No,
stories on. Yeah.
honestly, I'm like, I will die before I can tell every story that I want to. So
Sounds like a challenge.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of stories to be told.
exactly.
And then so on Instagram, Good Time Girls on Instagram.
Yep.
And on Facebook. So if you have been on a tour and you're not following to keep up with what
Yeah.
they're doing, you should go ahead and follow.
Yeah, and we have a mailing list. Go to our website and spellinghistory.com. I only send out an email like 2 or 3 times a year because that's how I roll.
That's great.
So I won't bombard you, but you can stay up with us that way.
Love it. And the best place to find tours is on like the calendars on the Belling.
Yeah,
or
just
like,
come on
yeah,
our website
yeah.
and it'll be all linked up on there. We have a little calendar on there. But yeah, you can follow us on social media. Go on any of their local calendars. We're usually on all those. But
Or go in the phone book if you're a phone book person.
Or yeah, let your fingers do the walking.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah.
Good Time Girls, right below Good to Go, whatever that business is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no guarantee of what you'll get, but it will be good to go.
Yeah. We are good to go.
We are. You are. Everything is.
Yes, that's right.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing
Yeah,
your
thanks
story.
for having me.
And we'd love to continue to collaborate with you and to do whatever
Absolutely.
we can to keep the tours awesome and
Keep Bellingham
funky and
hammy.
hammy. Keep it hammy and jammy.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.